All right, this is Real Talk 2262. This is kind of like a rebuilding of the Browns. What would you do as the Browns GM at this current time? They just talked about they restructured Deshaun Watson contract. But before we get into this content, like, comment, subscribe. We need these follows. I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers, 100 followers before May. Let's get it, guys.
Yeah, especially if you're watching this stuff. Okay, Deshaun restructured his contract. I guess he wants to hang around a little bit because I guess if he didn't do that, they was gonna give him the axe.
Probably. They probably told him, like, man, you don't restructure this. What was it, like $250 million contract?
240 or 30.
Something crazy. This $200+ million contract, you're gonna have to find another team that's gonna take that contract.
Yeah, and not only that, but it's all guaranteed. So
that was stupid.
But they didn't they just do that with Myles Garrett?
But they gave him majority, like 75% of it is guaranteed. Okay. It's quarterback money basically. Right. He got, but he's the face of the franchise.
He is the face.
So you paid your face,
right?
Because they was gonna probably ride. Cleveland was probably gonna ride if they traded away Myles. Just in general, he's just that good. It's like trading Aaron Donald. You don't trade guys like them,
right?
Unless they did something crazy.
So with the Browns, then would you draft a quarterback?
Personally, at 2, this is what I will personally do.
Okay.
I will, if I was the Browns at this current point. They didn't do too much in free agency.
Right.
They didn't trade for nobody. They just re-signed Myles.
Right.
So what I would do is, you have a lot of gaping holes on that team. Offensive line needs some help. Receiving core definitely some help, and you have a big glaring room in the thing. It's the QB. So with the QB, do you think whoever gets drafted first? I'm thinking Cam Ward's going to get drafted first. The Cam Ward out of Miami.
Yeah.
He most likely would get drafted first. If that's the case, then you have to take Shedeur. I personally don't think Shedeur is going to be a great prospect.
No, me either.
But if the dream scenario is good, the Titans draft Shedeur first. You get Cam. Now Cam is very, very good. He's patient in the pocket. Some people say he's too patient, but he's patient in the pocket in the sense of he feels very comfortable.
Right.
So he literally will just stand still, and the pocket will just form around him. Yeah. So he's not going to be rushing around for you, and he's very, very accurate.
And that gives you the opposite of what you got with Deshaun, who gets happy feet as soon
very much so.
If anything breaks down, he's ready to run.
But if Cam is gone, then this is what I would do. I would trade down and try to get as much picks as I can. This is a deep draft this year. I would try to trade like 15, 16, and see if I can get a prospect like Jackson Darts. He's out there in Ole Miss. He's very, very good. He showed off really how good of an arm talent he is. He's a project, though. Don't get it wrong. That's why I would draft him like middle to late first round pick. That's where he's right now ranked at. And start focusing on getting some good linebackers, getting some corners. I think if maybe Will Johnson's still out there in Michigan, if he does fall that hard, that's a steal of a lifetime. It's a lot of good prospects this year. Right. You can get Ted Johnson from Oregon. I think he's supposed to be going around the 15th range. And try to get as much picks and talent as you can accumulate as possible. Because Kevin Stefanski is supposedly going to start calling the plays again. Because he gave up the play calling situation to his offensive coordinator. And that did not
So what do you think about him as the coach?
He's a good coach. Now, I don't believe that he should have gave up his calling the offensive plays. He probably should have just kept calling offensive plays. He gave the offensive coordinator the play calling ability this season. Right. And it looked bad. Yeah, it did. Jameis is a solid backup. I will say that. He's a solid backup. Make sure they keep him around. He's bringing energy to the squad. He's a funny character. You need some of them in your team.
He's a goofball.
Yeah, he's a real good goofball. He's funny. He's an entertainment. If I was them, invest in a solid backup running back. Nick Chubb constantly keeps getting hurt.
That's what I was going to ask you.
Maybe getting if Ash Genty may fall right to their hands. If they get him, you could trade Nick Chubb at this current position. Ash Genty is the guy who almost won a Heisman against Travis Hunter. he's a running back. I mean, if you can get a pick like 15, 16 and you trade down and get him like late first round pick,
right,
that could be a steal. Genti is going to be most likely an NFL superstar. But if you don't get him, you can get the running back. I believe he's from Alabama's Junty. I think is coming out this year. You have a lot of guys. The Browns are in a current position where the draft can really, really save their team and flip it to the right stick if they draft well.
I think they need to get a quarterback.
Yeah.
I think they need to get a quarterback and let Deshaun play his contract out. What he got, probably about 3 more seasons.
I think three or four more seasons.
I would get a quarterback because that's been their problem. Jameson is okay. But I would draft a quarterback. We know what Jameson's going to do, which is going to mess up things when it's all said and done. He's a backup, and they need a running back.
Yeah, a nice good backup. That's what I said. If Genti's right there, you take him. He's probably the most talented guy, but it's because he plays the wrong position.
Right.
Now I don't know now because Saquon has kind of ruined this whole thing about the running backs. For the last 5-10 years, you take your running back in the second round. Because Saquon pretty much single-handedly won a Super Bowl for the Eagles.
He did.
Once you find that generational running back, which I believe and most people do believe is Genti, his draft stock may just go up. I mean, he may get drafted first round. I mean, I've seen him break 5 tackles just from boom, 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 gone for a touchdown. It was one game he ran for 200 yards on 13 carries.
Right.
That's crazy. Right. 13 carries for 200. So you, as the Browns, as right now, the ball's in your hand. You can take Shador Cam because you pick either or in this current position.
Right.
But I do believe Shador makes some bad decisions with the ball.
Right.
He's kind of reminds me a lot of Deshaun, which is not a thing if you're getting Deshaun from Houston.
Yeah.
If you're getting Deshaun from Houston.
But those guys, when they thin like that also,
they take hits like that and they get hurt.
They get hurt, and he's thin like that too. So
now if you really, really, I think Shador is, I don't want to say arrogance, but he's very, very confident. And I feel like he's not going to take the league serious, especially coming out the gate until he gets slammed. I think that because he's the man, he's been the man since college.
Right.
He's been pretty much the man all throughout his college years.
Right.
He's going to probably think he's this guy. And to me, Cam has went through a lot of more adversities. He went through 2-3 transfer portals. He's been working hard. I would just personally take Cam just a little bit over Shador.
Right.
Now, like I said, you got some good prospects throughout the draft.
Right.
Dylan Gabriel out there from Oregon, he played really good this season. If he's in the second round, if the Cleveland's in the second round, in the mid-second round pick, that's a pretty good option. They have some good options that outside them top 2.
Right.
You have some good prospects, I'll say. Some good development guys that with letting Deshaun play his contract out.
That's what I would do.
And just have him develop like how they did with the package did with Jordan Love.
Right.
You have some guys like that where you can just let him sit on that sideline, Pat Mahomes for you for a year.
Right.
And you could do that process.
Exactly. Right. Whatever. That's a hard division.
It's a very hard division. So you can't be shellacking around.
No,
because the Bengals are talking about drafting all defense this year.
Yes.
And if you're talking about a team that can get, and they trade away Ted Hendricks, they free up cap space for this year.
That's right.
You're talking about teams that are going to ready to reload.
The Steelers are always there.
Yeah, the Steelers are always there, and the Ravens are always there. And you got to break into that division.
That's right.
And I really do want to see the Browns succeed because that's a very lonesome franchise that has had no success.
Right.
So I want them to succeed.
Right.
But if this year, these next 18 months will be the make or break for the Browns.
Right.
Because y'all are trash this year. Y'all got great picks. Trade them down, get as many picks. That's what New Orleans did. They drafted a really well-rounded team when they had with Drew Brees at the end. Remember they was drafting all them BBs and all that defensive help. They got him the help that he needed, and then Drew Brees had a late resurgence in his career.
Right, and then they got the running back, Kamara.
Yeah, Kamara. They drafted really, really well for Drew at the end. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. For the next 18 months, if y'all don't draft well, this is going to be it for them. Right. In the sense of that's because Gary's going to start hitting the 30s. Everybody on that team is going to start hitting them 30s.
Yeah.
If y'all like this conversation, like, comment, subscribe. Again, man, you heard what I said. I want by May 100 followers / subscribers, man. Peace.